Moving right along, our illustrious Vice President Darth Harris also doesn't like the fact that Texans are trying to secure their elections by creating more stringent election procedures where there should be more stringent election procedures, getting rid of all the really relaxed rules that made it so easy for discrepancies and fraud to be riddled in this last election. But I'm not going to say who won either way. That's up to you. Everybody has their own opinions on that. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the retarded fucking vice president. So let's get into this. Um, Kamala Harris blasts Texas's voting restrictions as assault on our democracy. Your administration is an assault on our democracy. Vice President Kamala Harris has strongly criticized the Texas bill that would introduce new restrictions on voting, not new restrictions on voting, strengthening voting, making it more secure. Uh, in the Lone Star State, which is part of a wider push by Republicans to tighten election rules, which should be tightened. Voting should be the hardest thing you do in a civilized society because it has to be. We have to make sure that it's the most secure thing that you do in a civilized society.
That's how winning is
Harris
done.
took to Twitter on Saturday to condemn the proposed legislation, which is expected to be passed into law and echoes comment but made by President Joe Biden. The Texas bill would eliminate drive-through voting. You shouldn't be able to drive-through vote and 24-hour voting locations. I mean, there should be a time when you come in to vote. You can vote from this time to this time. I'm all for more than one day, but all day voting, no. Before 1 p.m. and grant greater access to partisan poll watchers, among other measures. Republicans should have greater access to poll watching. The Democrats, and you shouldn't control that. Period. The bill has it should be equal parts you, equal parts them. The bill has already passed the Texas House of Representatives and expected to be approved by co-op-controlled state Senate and signed into law by Republican Governor Greg Abbott. Today's Texas legislators advanced a bill attacking the right to vote. Nope, securing and protecting the right to vote. It's yet another assault on our democracy. Congress needed to pass the For the People Act, and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. No, we need to pass nothing that the Democrats want because you guys are utter garbage. You are totalitarian, fascist pieces of unconstitutional trash. We need to make it easier for eligible voters to vote, not harder, the vice president said. She was referring to two Democratic bills aimed at expanding voting rights protections that have already passed in the House but face an uphill battle and evidently divided Senate. We do not have to expand voter right protections. People that have a right to vote are already protected. We have to pass laws that make it easier to determine who that is and who that isn't.
That's how winning
We
is
need to
done.
prevent discrepancies, especially if we're going electronic, and we need to prevent fraud. That's what we need to do, and that's what Texas is doing, and you need to right off. Biden also criticized the proposal law and similar remarks in the statement on Saturday. Today, Texas legislators put forth a bill that joins Georgia and Florida in advancing state laws that attack the sacred right to vote. Protect the right to vote. Secure the right to vote. You guys damaged the right to vote when you made it so easy and you just mailed out ballots like candy, and we caught people that fucking shit over the border and all that other fucking garbage and all these goddamn discrepancies because you couldn't fucking control it.
You suck.
Period. That's what happened. It's part of the assault on democracy that we've seen far too often this year, and often disproportionately targeting black and brown Americans. It's wrong and un-American. In the 21st century, we should make it easier, not harder, for every eligible voter to vote Biden. No, we should make it fucking harder. It should be the hardest fucking thing you do in a civilized world because it's the most important fucking thing you could do in a civilized world. I continue to call on all Americans of every party and persuasion to stand up for our democracy and protect the right to vote and the integrity of our elections. Our elections should fucking take forever. There should be automatic fucking audits and third party audits. Like the Republicans and Democrats shouldn't have anything to do about it is what it is. Like that. There should be beyond no shadow of a doubt every single fucking time, regardless of discrepancies and fraud. Even if there was no discrepancies and fraud, there still should be like 3 audits just to make fucking sure.
That's how winning is done.
Voting. It's it's the most important fucking thing you can fucking do. And I'm going on a rant now. So the Texas bill is part of a new slew of Republican efforts to tighten. The framing here is horrible, to tighten voting laws in the aftermath of former President Donald Trump's defeat in the 2020 election and the surprise victory of the 2 Democrats in Georgia Senate. Special elections in January. Republicans have pushed for stricter voting laws in at least 14 states, including Arizona, Florida, Georgia, and Iowa. And Brennan Center for Justice reports that 389 bills have been introduced that aim to restrict voting since Trump's defeat. Secure voting, not restrict, secure. You fucking made voting too you made voting too unsecure. You fucking made the system trash. Biden's previously compared a new Georgia election law to the racist laws of the Jim Crow's era. That law passed in March limited ballot drop boxes and reduced the length of runoff elections, among other measures. Critics charged that the law's aim was voter suppression and would disproportionately affect black voters. No, it won't. It won't disproportionately affect anyone, you fucking lying sack of shit.
You
There's
suck!
Jim Crow in the 21st century. It might stand in the Moral Constitutional Obligation Act, spoken from somebody that's part of Jim Crow. These guys are fucking trash. These guys are all fucking trash. You pretend to care about fucking black people, even though you fucking commit the most fucking racist atrocities on fucking earth. Like fucking you claim to be like not racist, but you beat up random black men because you can't tell the difference because you think they're Andy No. I mean, random Asian men because you think that they're Andy No because you're too fucking racist to tell the difference between two Asian men.
Winning? No. You
The
suck!
Democrats are the party of slavery. Democrats are the party of Jim Crow. Democrats are the party of this garbage segregation. And now they're like claiming that fucking we're doing that. No. You guys are that party. We are trying to make sure elections are integral. Like, only legal votes should count.
That's how winning is done!
There shouldn't be widespread mail-in voting. There shouldn't be a wholesale voting. We're not a fucking democracy. We are a fucking republic. And it's time that we fucking remembered that. Voting should be the hardest fucking thing you do in a civilized, free country because it's the most important thing you can fucking do in a civilized, free country. And now the VP and the rest of that administration is utter trash, and we need to fucking remove them.
That's how winning is done!
I'm just fucking saying, because we can't move on forward from here. We are too divided, and these people are too unconstitutional and too anti-fucking individual rights, and that is treasonous, red-coated garbage, and they need a fucking end. I'm just fucking saying.